Every moment I shape my destiny with a chisel. I am the carpenter of my own soul. Rumi. There's this really old idea that humans are creators. In fact, it's so old, it's actually quite ancient. And this idea is expressed to us that we're more like co creators with the divine. This idea of being a co creator with the source of life or a divine presence goes as far back as some of the first recorded stories in history and found in ancient Mesopotamia. It's been permeated into our psyche and the DNA of humans since the beginning of time. In modern times, we've really watered down this concept or only assumed that it's religious territory and in their domain. And while all ancient cultures have stemmed from being highly religious as the focus of daily life, it's actually our birthright to understand this concept outside of it. So, with so much time available, we've also been led down this unnecessary path to finding our purpose. We've been able, through modern society, been allotted this time to figure out what it is that we want to do, yet we don't really understand our role. You will find your purpose when you understand your role, and that role is to be a creator. We think being a creator is only those with special gifts and talents to produce artwork. We've lost the true meaning and interpretation of the concept of creator. Everyone is supposed to create things. Everyone has to fulfill this role in order for society to function properly. So, how does this work? We have to bring those insights and inspirations we get in our mind down into the material world for all of us to enjoy. This theme of being a creator and co-creating is prevalent in the Hebrew and Catholic traditions, but it's also hinted throughout all of the world religions that we are made in the likeness of the God that shaped us. We were made with a divine spark nested within each of us, reflecting that singular source of creative energy at its fullest potential. It's that divine spark that we hold within us that makes us more unique than any other animal on the planet. But we've lost touch with its true meaning, and we've gotten muddled on what we're supposed to do in this role. We've lost sight of even having this role to begin with. We know creativity is the bedrock of innovation. It's a practice that helps us move through emotions. It helps us articulate our thoughts, helps us to heal. And that creativity is the leading cause of how our economy runs. It's the one driving force that created the United States. And it's what our ancestors held dear as they were toiling and laboring in society for their future generations so that we could have a life and a society to benefit from that. And now we're in this existential crisis trying to figure out what it is that we're supposed to do with our time. And the only thing that we're supposed to do is to create. And once we start creating, again, we're going to find that purpose within. Humanity would not survive without innovation, creative thinking, and the pursuit of solving problems to make life more efficient, more effective, and just plain easier. But are we waiting for somebody else to do this? I don't know about you, but I don't want to put my money hoping on Elon Musk is going to bring us into the future. Not anymore. No shit on Elon Musk, but I think that we all have a role to play in society that helps us solve problems and bring us into a world that we actually want to live in. Our approach to life has changed rapidly in the last few years. What seemed impossible and a little crazy are now the best ways to make a living for yourself. There's a guy that chops wood and a girl that discusses squirrels to make a living. In today's online world, both are highly successful. It's totally nuts. There's so many opportunities to construct a life that is best suited for our needs, but are we willing to take that next step forward? How brave are we going into this new frontier? So really the bottom line, there's no room left for excuses. We need to take back our role as creator. And within those creative activities, I'm pretty certain there you're going to find a unique purpose that will surface to the top. This is a purpose that you've designed by you for you. So take the role of creator seriously and understand the function of co-creating with something bigger than you. We'll get into that a little bit later. It's no longer an option to act as if you're not capable and fully responsible for having a life you love. Even through the most difficult times, that's just part of the human experience. So let's break this down into two parts. One is to understand the job of creating and why it's pivotal and important in your life. And then the second is the function of how to invite this like prime source of energy into the mix. And so we'll go over 5 ways to bring that divine connection into your life. And that's where we'll get a little spiritual. If you just create on your own, you'll find some successes, of course, but your life force will get drained, especially when you're doing what you love and you're putting everything you have into it. Happens all the time. All creatives have personal rituals to invoke higher levels of inspiration. We try to manufacture inspiration and be open for the muses to bring in those insightful aha moments. Otherwise, we're just borrowing from someone else and hope that we're going to get inspiration. We all get inspiration from others. That's totally fair. But what we want are the original ideas to come forward. And that means we have to learn how to leap and tap into that divine source of knowledge, gain insights, and turn those ideas into something for the rest of us to benefit from. These golden nuggets of wisdom have a ripple effect in the world. So when you get inspired by others' work, you're inspired by those same insights that dropped into their mind, where they had the courage to go out and put it into the world and have a ripple effect. And so by you being inspired by that, you in turn can take that knowledge and turn it into something else that others can enjoy and have a ripple effect as well. And that's really the true essence of how we build a stronger, better, more effective society. It's that interconnectedness, it's that interwovenness that we have. If everyone held on to their ideas and kept them to themselves, we'd be quite a selfish species. So here's how to embrace your role as a creator. These are the several tips, several ways of thinking of this as a job description that you want to understand. So you want to research topics that interest you. You want to prepare those well-structured ideas and engage in hands-on experience to publish that work in some way, shape, or form. Identify needs and be able to coordinate and measure skills for growth. The more we can challenge ourselves, the more we can grow, the more we can come into our full potential as a creator. We also want to have the ability to manage our time in a well-balanced way, so we're not always having to be productive. We know that rest is a part of the equation, and we want to balance that out need be. Communication and leadership skills are necessary to deliver those creative projects into the world. Here are 5 ways to co-create with the prime source to get into the role of co-creating. And let's bring ourselves into this new wild era to bring those to life. And again, just to caveat, when I say source, prime source, it's really a name to understand the concept of pulling into the thing that created all things. You can feel free to add in whatever name that feels comfortable for you. This is your private moment to have with who you believe is a creator. That is kind of a requirement with this work, but these are just some steps to help you summon that creative inspiration for your next endeavor. So the first step, invite this source of life energy, the universe, into meditation to align with it. Most people have a hard time quieting their mind for meditation. The mind wants to think about something. The mind's going to run because it's a program and it's really hard to just shut it down. It's possible, but especially in the beginning, it's really hard. So during your meditation, imagine that the cosmos is stirring inside of you, that literally the universe is sitting inside of you. If you give the mind something to think about, the left brain is going to have something active to do that'll allow the right brain to be open to receive any insights. And so as you're in this meditation, feel that divine spark of love that comes inside and expand out within you, if you can imagine. So the cosmos would have a frequency of love that you could feel. And then you can also see maybe a small energetic flame at the base root, at the bottom of your abdomen and your root chakra that starts to grow bigger and bigger and reaches out through the crown of your head. So now you've got this visual cue to start opening you up and expanding you internally to fill you up with vitality. Number 2, connect to the energy that created all life through prayer. So again, prayer usually is regarded as a religious act. I don't believe so. I know religious people that aren't spiritual. I know spiritual people that aren't religious. This is that conversation. So meditation is where you listen, prayer is where you ask. And you want to start to invoke the divine into a conversation and access that same force that created the universe. the planets, the stars, the mountains, and the seas. So start with a gratitude practice. You're in meditation, you've opened up, or wherever you want to start this or this particular practice, and go through a list of things, small and large, that you're grateful for. Then ask that same source for guidance, for inspiration on a project, ways to restore your vitality, and so that you can keep fulfilling your role as a creator. Just open up and see how that feeling starts to shift and change your mood. Way number 3, align the heart to the mind. So imagine that you're literally connecting a dot between the energy center of your heart directly to your mind. So it's a one vertical that's in between. A lot of times we're always in battle between, our heart and our mind, and they tend to kind of hit this wall and hit this conflict between each other. But what we really want to do is connect the two. The heart isn't going to supersede. You do want to lead with the heart, but it's not going to override the mind, and the mind is not going to override the heart. One has to be in balance with the other. And the goal of that is so that we're not dominating each other. One's not dominating the other. They have to work together as partners. So the heart's going to tell you, I really want to do this thing. And the mind is going to be the practical servant to help figure out how to make that happen. You may have an emotion come through that may not be logical. So you can feel the emotion, get the message that that emotion is trying to tell you, let your mind process it in a way that's healthy, and then move forward. We're not jumping to conclusions. We're not acting through emotions only. We're making sure that the mind's in there to help understand, hey, we're working together to figure out what this is. And if you can walk through your day like that, you might be a little bit more in alignment to really start to navigate, what is it I should be doing and how can I get it? How can I make it happen in a practical way? Way number 4, tap into that harmonic frequency of nature. So Earth has a frequency that scientific studies have shown have a positive effect on the brain. This frequency was founded by a physicist named Winfried Otto Schumann in 1952. It's known as the heartbeat of Earth. And when we align to this, scientists have found that functioning of the human brain and body have better cognitive functions, reduce stress and anxiety, and benefits the immune system, sleep functions, etc. You get where this is going. So going out in nature, even though it's pretty cliche and everyone talks about it, there really is science backed behind how it will help balance and harmonize our equilibrium. When we're able to get into that gentle flow of nature, our moods become more peaceful and we start to allow for that spaciousness to let that inspiration strike in. And the 5th way is, of course, you want to listen to any of those intuitive nudges and watch out for signs that you see. In my belief system, I accept all synchronicities. I'm going to encourage you to do the same. So when you hear something or you see something out in the world that reflects back to you the answers to the questions that you were asking, take that for what it is and lean into it. From hearing a song to seeing a symbol or opening a book with the words you just needed, instead of dismissing it as a coincidence, let it take you forward to the next step. Really lean into those messages without overthinking it and continue to stay open and curious. So I hope this offers some insight on how to embrace the role of being a creator, on how to co-create with the universe, what you have to add to the world, your ideas, your thoughts, your words, your actions. Create the patchwork that makes society what it is. So what will be your next creation? I would love to hear your thoughts below in the comments. Thank you for being here, and until next time, be the creation you want to see in the world.